Welcome back inside the headquarters. It is another Monday, which means that it's time to break it down as this is your Debrief. I am Rory McGoran as we recap the weekend that was for the Northeast Generals. Philadelphia Rebels lost on Friday and a win on Saturday as the Generals snap a 3-game losing streak, and we have a great show for you planned as well as we're joined by star forward Logan Poulin this week, and we'll look ahead at what's to come as the Generals do wrap up their 6-game homestand and now head back out onto the road to wrap up another season series, this time against the Maryland Black Bears. But first, let's take a look at the full Eastern Division as we'll get into your scores from Friday night. So around the East Division, yes, the Northeast Generals, we'll get to that one at the end. The Rochester Americans, though, they defeat the New Jersey Titans 5-2 on Friday, both games taking place in New Jersey that weekend. The New Hampshire Mountain Kings lose to the Elmira Aviators 3-2. Maryland Black Bears, another home team, picking up a win 5-2 over the Johnstown Tomahawks, and the Danbury Hat-Tricks this Friday night lost to the Maine Nordiques 3-2. A lot of the teams that did end up on the wrong side of the scoreboard there will avenge their losses on Saturday. But before we take a look at that, the Northeast Generals actually, although their loss to the Philadelphia Rebels 6-5 was entirely filled with Jekyll and Hyde moments that we've kind of been accustomed to seeing over the last few weeks of a team that, well, for lack of a better word, or just simply said, has been a little inconsistent. Big victories over the Maryland Black Bears, and then back-to-back losses against the 10th place team in the division in the New Hampshire Mountain Kings. This game had a little bit of both of those worlds, a bad first period, a really strong second period, and then a blown lead, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the game, and ending in a 6-5 loss to the Philadelphia Rebels on Friday in the third period. But all the teams behind the Generals, ended up losing on Friday. So they didn't lose any ground on the New Jersey Titans, who was one place behind them in 5th. They didn't lose any ground on Johnstown, on Danbury, on the teams that are trying to catch the Generals, not only catch them, but solidify their playoff spots if they currently are in the top 5. Or the top 6. That is Friday's matchup. As we look now to Saturdays, we told you that there was a lot of teams bouncing back in New Jersey after losing on Friday 5-2. They respond, pick up a 3-2 win. This was an earlier game, so for the moment, it was New Jersey and the Generals tied with 46 points. The New Hampshire Mountain Kings, in a wild back-and-forth game and a high-scoring one, they respond after losing 3-2 on Friday to defeat the Elmira Aviators 7-6. Then I guess El Paso's kind of jammed into that scoreboard. Johnstown loses to Maryland again 4-3. And the final game that's not on there, my apologies, was a shutout victory by the Danbury Hat-Tricks. They respond and pick up a 1-0 win over the Maine Nordiques. Northeast Generals 3-0, a shutout victory. We'll have those highlights coming up, but first, your highlights from Friday night's loss.
Between the Generals and Rebels, Janvira in his own end touches it along down low for Brothers. Wheels off far side for Klutchkov, taken away in the attacking zone. It's rear, gives off near side, pass out in front, no one was home. Long range blast from Ipri, blocked out in front, follow up shot, they score. North of the season for Allard in the NAHL. Congrats to Brayton Frick and Jordan Brothers for hitting the century mark in games. Frick racing with the puck, angling it off the boards through the neutral zone, taken away by Connor. Intercepted by Vlasis, bouncing puck corralled, touches along to Albeck, return feed to Vlasis. Frick fires and scores! What a shot by Brayton Frick in game of. Send it along, here's Savalia, letting a wrist shot go, blockered away by Varsa. Savalia, near point, gives off far side. Blocked out in front, comes free right to Bunting. He chips it along to Sheridan. Sheridan has a step behind the defense, moving in, poked away. He scores! Billy Sheridan on the breakaway. Pass across to Rucci-Redo in the hands of Moyer. Moyer straight away, back to Poulin. A minute to go on the power play. Moyer's shot, save made by Vars. Moyer right in the slot, fires and scores. Cody Moyer on the power play, ties the league. Albeck touched along to Simonet. Simonet out of his own end, one-hands it to Frick, who backhands it off high, off the glass. Comes free near side, taken away by Albeck as he gets crunched into the boards by Kelly. Gibbons over the attacking line, feeds far side for O'Connor. Driving hard to the goal, and he scores. Finnegan, Connor, and quickly finds Moran. Rebels playing from behind. As the puck lodged deep in the Philadelphia defensive zone, Swanson quickly over the attacking line. Klutchkov gives off to Moran, dances around one. Moran with speed, feeds Brothers out in front. They score! What a play! Dylan Moran for Hinchcliffe. Puck in the skates of Fabiano. Engel pokes it free. Under 7 to go in the middle frame. Taken away. Here's Hinchcliffe. Pass right in front. They score. Braden Hutloff slots home the pass to as Klutchkov, the former general, races out of his own end. Plays it softly behind the net of Wilson. Klutchkov 2 points in 3 games with Philadelphia since being acquired in a trade with the Generals. As Chardon takes away the pass. Bunting scores! What a play! Billy Chardon on the field. He drops off. Pass through the neutral zone. Sent down the far wall. Varsa out of his net to play the puck. Rebels looking to break out cleanly out of their own end. Frick touches along to Sheridan. Has a streaking Mayo. Sheridan fires. Scores! What a snipe for Billy Sheridan! To dump it down low as Wilson's there to collect for the Rebels. Gives off to Swanson with under 2 to play here in regulation. Alabek dumps it softly down the near wall as he goes 1-on-3. Fabiano nearly getting muscled off the puck by Alabek. Turned over, it's Frick moving in with speed. He scores! What a play! Brayton Frick in that far corner. Comes free momentarily in the skates of Hall. Rebels whacking at the puck. Bunting plays it out of the zone. Collected by Moyer. Moyer in front of his home bench. Gives off at the center ice logo. It's Hall. Feeds Poulin. Poulin down low looking for Hall on the return. Gibbons fires and scores. Andrew Gibbons.
Yeah, so as you can see, just, not a clean game, turnover-filled, very sloppy for the Generals in that 6-5 loss to the Philadelphia Rebels on Friday. A game to which they, led 2-3 times throughout into the third period with a victory, only the second time in regulation that they carried a lead into the third period and then lost that game. Their record was 15-1-1 prior when carrying a lead into the third. Yeah, just, a game that kind of epitomized the Jekyll and Hyde inconsistent nature that we've been, I wouldn't say accustomed to seeing, but that the Generals have kind of been putting on display over the last 3 weeks or so. But they did bounce back on Saturday in a big 3-0 victory over Philadelphia, the first career shutout as a General for Will Mazanko, stopping 36 of 36. He was brilliant. The first career goal for Beckett Hinchcliffe since being acquired just before the trade deadline, now as a Northeast General. And these are your highlights from Saturday's 3-0 shutout victory. So on the point, it'll be Brayton Frick who will take the faceoff for the Rebels. Won by the Generals. Alec Hall stumbles to a knee and a shot. Good tip by Hinchcliffe. Just over the net, though. Another one. Hinchcliffe shot scores! Opening 2 minutes, and the Generals have scored the game opener. Is Sam Wilson trying to work it in. Held in at the line as well by Emmett McLean. Second game for him in a Rebels jersey. Back out down the right side goes Alec Hall. Hall will enter, trying to get it across to Hinchcliffe. Back for Hall. Hall, sharp angle shot off the side of the net. Jury pokes and scores. They're going to wave it down. Gibbons going to get waved out of the draw, so Rusaretto comes in. Rusaretto wins the faceoff back, and Ipri will set up across to Logan Poulin. Poulin, nothing towards the net, has to go out wide. Gibbons across. Shot. Moyer scores! Back to back to back in 12 seconds. So there you have it, a big bounce-back victory for the Generals on Saturday. 3-0 shutout over the Philadelphia Rebels. 36 save performance for Will Mazenko. As we mentioned, his first career shutout as a Gen. First career goal for Beckett Hinchliffe. Braden Hudloff picks up his 11th goal of the season. Cody Moyer, back-to-back games with a power play goal, his 14th of the season. Now the Generals with 42 power play goals in 42 games. They've scored the first goal of the game in 5 straight. And hoping to find a little bit more consistently through multiple games than what we saw on Friday as opposed to what we saw on Saturday. The 3-0 victory, a lot more of a consistent 60 minutes, and now they'll want to extrapolate that, of course, as they head into the weekend series against the Maryland Black Bears. But first, before we get to the Black Bears series, we will now like to welcome in star forward with the interview on the Debrief, Logan Poulin. McGorn, now joined with Northeast General star forward Logan Poulin. Logan, really appreciate the time. How's it going over there in a couple of days off after a weekend split?
Yeah, it's good to get some rest in and get ready for a big weekend at Maryland. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. Let's start with that last weekend. Obviously, a bit of a messy game, we should say, on Friday in a 6-5 loss, but really strong bounce-back performance in the 3-0 win on Philadelphia. We just showed the highlights to everyone watching the show. What were your thoughts kind of just on the 2 games and your takeaways?
Yeah, I think the first game, we had a lot of turnovers, and that's something we're going to work on this week, eliminating those because good teams will capitalize on them. And at the same time, I think we had a really good response game. I think we were playing a lot harder, a lot smarter. And, it was a good win. It's good to get back in the win column coming into a big weekend.
I was kind of talking about in that Friday game, the 6-5 loss, a little bit inconsistent even in game, right? A good second period, not a great third period. That's kind of maybe been an issue of the last few weeks, is a little bit of inconsistency. Do you guys kind of talk about that with the coaching staff and what you can do to try to dial it in and just get more of the consistency of what we've seen Saturday throughout a more consistent basis?
Yeah, for sure. We're always thinking of ways to be better and to make it harder on the teams we're playing. And I think this week we're going to do the same thing. We're going to prepare how we always do, and we're going to focus on us. And when we focus on us and let the rest come, we're a very good team.
Yeah, 100%. And, obviously not even at full health yet, but,
Yeah.
Brian's going out and prior to the trade deadline, getting guys like Beckett Hinchliffe, getting Rich Russoretto back, right? So the belief from the coaching staff and obviously from the players is that you guys can make some damage and go win a championship. I want to ask you, though, about Rich, who has been on your line for 3 games since coming back. You haven't really played with him before, but just it seems that you've established some pretty strong chemistry with him in a pretty quick order. How have you guys been able to do that?
Yeah, Rich is awesome. He's been a great addition, great player, great guy off the ice. I think, we get along so well off the ice. We're very close already, him being here just under 2 weeks. So I'm a big believer in off-ice chemistry leads to on-ice. So I think just getting along, hanging out, being good friends, and he's a really good player, obviously. He's good at finding me. He's good at putting pucks in the right spot, and he's got a great shot. So I think once we get practicing more here, more together with more, I think we're going to have a really good line.
Well, I mean, you giving other players credit about their shot is something because it's clearly, I don't want to call you out saying it's your best asset, but it's an absolute weapon. Just when did you know that it might be a little different than everyone else's?
Yeah, I think funny enough, a lot of it comes from lacrosse. It's very similar with the hands, forearms, all that stuff. And in the summer and the winter, at all times, I'm trying to work on my shot, take different angles. It's just a lot of repetition, and luckily, I've been able to have a good shot and kept it going from there, and working on different attacks, trying to put it through defenders' legs and all good stuff like that.
Yeah, talk to me about this about lacrosse a bit. Obviously, I'm Canadian; it's one of our national sports. But when someone was talking to me about you and your ability to shoot the puck coming from you being a face-off man or something like that in lacrosse, just how long did you play it, and what is that sort of skill set that the position needs to be that that key man in the lacrosse face-off?
Yeah, I started getting into lacrosse when I was around 9 or 10, so a little bit later than most kids. And, just our team needed a face-off guy, and I was like, might as well step in, learn a new skill. And ever since then, I fell in love with it. And it's, like I said, it's a lot of forearms. You got to have good upper body strength, but you also have to have a low center of gravity. It's very similar to wrestling. So I think, you put those together, it's going to, combine for a very powerful shot and accurate. So luckily I had those weapons in the arsenal.
Is is a face-off man just on for the face-off and then back off? Like, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it?
So you either get the ball or you don't. And if you get it, you get it to the attack. And if you don't, you sub off once the other guy gets it to his attack.
So is hockey a little more exerting then? I would assume.
Yes.
If you're constantly subbing off.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay, a couple more questions for you. One of them is we've talked about, all the highlights that you've having. You're leading the team in goals. It's your rookie season, 17 goals already, over a point per game. But also an injury, and a lengthy one that you went through, almost 2 months. I believe it was about, a week or two shy of 2 months. But with that type of injury, right, the head injury, you have to take so much caution and just really be sure that you're right before returning. So I just want to know, what was the most difficult part about navigating just that lengthy layoff, knowing that you were having such a good start to your rookie season?
Yeah, it was very tough, obviously. I think the worst part about it is the mental warfare you play with yourself. Some days you're feeling 30%, other days you wake up, you feel 90%, but throughout the just under 2 months, it was very up and down. And like you said, head injury, you don't want to mess with that at all. And luckily we have a great trainer, Trelly. He helped me out a lot. I had a lot of good resources, a specialist that helped me. So I think you take all those combined, and we had a pretty good crew, and all you can do is take time with a head injury. That's what I was told. So I think I did the right choice. I played it safe, and luckily I'm back and I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the last game on Saturday, I think it was on Saturday, it might have been Friday. You kind of got wrestled down to the ice, and your helmet came off. And immediately I'm thinking, oh, please don't let him hit. Please don't tell me he hit his head on the ice. We can't lose this guy in the lineup again because of the season that you're having. And that's the final question is just, evaluate yourself, your personal game. Yeah, you don't have to be modest if you don't want to, but for you to come in as a rookie, lead the team in goals already, I assume that, your goal is college after you're done with junior hockey. Not 100% sure on that, but, are you happy with the way you're playing?
Yeah, I'm happy for sure, but I feel like any player would agree that you can always do more. And I think that with the next coming 2 months we have around there, I think I'm going to try to elevate my game more and more. And I'm playing with great players. Moyer's been able to find me very well. Then at the beginning of the year with Hall and Klotch, all the guys on the team I think we have a great group, and it makes it a lot easier to play with them and have a lot of confidence because knowing they'll have your back no matter what you do, mistake a good play. I think you just have a lot of confidence with them. It's very good to have that.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. Just quick thoughts on Maryland. You guys have played them 4 times already. You'll wrap up the season series. You just beat them 7-2. They're going to come. They're going to be angry. But basically every game outside of the one you won has been very close. Do you feel that you're right there with the best team, or top ranked team, I should say, in the league?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like we play in such a tough conference. One could beat 8, 8 could beat 1 on any given night. So I think that if we prepare like how we've been preparing, and we just have a week of practice, we'll be able to do good. I think we just got to trust our systems and our bodies that we have, and the rest is going to come from there.
Thanks, Logan. Really appreciate it. Obviously, congrats on the success that you've had so far this season, and best of luck down the final 15 games or so.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
All right, welcome back inside the headquarters, and a big thanks to Logan Poulin for joining us as this week's guest. And what a rookie season he's having. 17 goals already on the year, over a point per game, had the injury, bounced back to no one's surprise, but a great kid on and off the ice, and really appreciate the time that he took to come on the Debrief as the second official guest. Before we wrap up the show, let's take a look at what's next for the Northeast Generals as they will wrap up another season series, as here is the upcoming schedule in February. It'll be the Maryland Black Bears, who the Generals have a 1-3 record with so far this season in the 4 games prior. However, the largest deficit of defeat was in the Generals' win. The 7-2 victory that they just beat the Maryland Black Bears a couple weeks ago was the largest. Other than that, they've all been very close games, including a pair of 3-1 losses to Maryland. So, as Logan said, they believe they're right there with the top team in the East Division, and they'll try and they can sweep the weekend, even the season series, and split it at 3 games apiece. Then they'll return home for 2 games against the Johnstown Tomahawks before heading out on the road. They have 4 remaining games against the New Jersey Titans in their remaining 15 or 16 games, I believe it is, in total. And if you take a look at the standings, which we did a little bit earlier, New Jersey Titans are right there 2 points behind. So they'll have 4 remaining games against New Jersey. Generals have 3 remaining games against Maine. And then a bunch of other teams they'll wrap up season series with over a weekend. But that is your look ahead as the next 2 games coming up this weekend in Maryland. And that is going to do it for us here on the Debrief. For everyone watching, thank you for watching another episode. You are informed. This was your Debrief.